Well, I wanted to do a preview of Bound for Glory 2013, so this will probably be my best opportunity to do it, even though the full card isn't out there yet. But if you look at TNA's roster and you look at the current direction of their product, I mean, what else are they going to add that's really that interesting? Lady Tapa versus Velvet Sky, I guess, could be added. Maybe Ethan Carter III will make his debut. I don't know. I don't know if that guy's any good. I really don't. I know he came from... It was either Tough Enough or NXT. I don't remember which. Derek Bateman. So if anybody wants to tell me if he's any good, just put it down in the comment section. I don't really know anything about the guy. Not saying the character's going to be a failure or anything like that. I'm just saying there's just not a whole lot of intrigue as far as what they could add to this show. Heading in. So I'm just going to treat this as if it's the final card. But before I do that, I did want to give my quick feelings on Monday Night Raw. Good main event, great ending, and it kind of elevated an otherwise weak show. This was a very kind of lackluster show. Not stunningly awful, like not Raw 2009 bad or anything like that, but it was just a flat show, just very dull, and not a whole lot of interesting things happened. And the Bellas are terrible actresses. Just throwing that out there. So much of it just fell flat, but the ending was great. A good, solid tag team championship match with some legitimate drama and a great ending, and of course Cody and Goldust won the tag titles, which I don't have a problem with. It was actually a well-built match. It actually felt like a nice payoff to have the Rhodes win the titles, and the tag team division is deep enough to where you can have them work with several teams and get a lot out of it. So, the main event was really good. Loved the ending. Everything else kind of fell flat. And as for Punk versus Ryback and Heyman in a Hell in a Cell being the match set for Hell in a Cell, I wanted Punk and Lesnar too. I'm just saying. That was the match I wanted to see at Hell in a Cell. And they're giving us this, which is... Alright. I just got to shrug my shoulders at it, quite honestly. I mean, okay, Punk and Ryback again. And I guess Punk's finally going to get his hands on Heyman and beat the hell out of him and get his final revenge. I guess. I don't know. Like I said, I really do feel like they're spinning their wheels with that angle. So, whatever. So those are my thoughts on Raw. But Bound for Glory, I look at this card, and you look at all the releases that TNA's had over the last few months with their roster and cleaning out their roster and everything, and not really doing a whole lot to build it back up. I mean, a lot of the guys that they let go, quite honestly, were either stale or not very good, so it's not like they lost too many truly significant. Probably the biggest loss they had was Mickie James, and I love Mickie, so... I think that's a legitimate loss there, but other than that, I mean, they haven't really lost anybody that's, to me, is, like, crucial or, like, not that I can think of. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, anyway, besides Mickie James. But they haven't done a whole lot to rebuild the roster, so it just looks like a roster in repair, and they just don't have a whole lot going for them storyline-wise. I'm looking at this card for Bound for Glory, and it just looks like just a bunch of patchwork. And when you're only doing 4 pay-per-views a year, and this is your biggest show of the year, it should feel like the culmination of something. It's kind of like a shittier version of WrestleMania 29, where WrestleMania 29, yes, I was there live, and yes, I had a lot of fun, and I won't say it was a terrible show, but so much of the card felt like it was just thrown together and not really... planned out or mapped out all that well. I mean, look at CM Punk and Undertaker. Great fucking match, but they clearly just threw that together like a month before the show. And if Paul Bearer hadn't died, I have no idea what the storyline for that was going to be, because that was clearly just something that they cooked up randomly. And there was a lot of that on the show. Plus, the two... big matches that were mapped out were Cena, Rock, and Triple H and Lesnar, and quite honestly, I didn't want to see those rematches, so those were rematches like, no, I don't need to see those. And the rest of it was mostly just patchwork. But yeah, this one's even worse, because this show it just doesn't have anything going for it in any kind of significant way. Tito Ortiz was obviously a bust. Rampage Jackson was a bust, so they didn't get anything out of them. Kurt Angle's been gone because he was in rehab, so they couldn't really build up a big match for him. Yeah, he's returning, but they couldn't really think of anything to do with him. Sting, Sting's one of their big names. They didn't really have much of a plan for him. The X Division, they just randomly threw crap together and see what would stick. The tag division has no direction. I'm shocked that they have 5 tag teams. I mean, where the hell did 4 other teams come from, or 3 other teams? I keep forgetting that Storm and Gunner are the tag champions, quite honestly. Knockouts division, they let so many of the girls go, and, that match feels random. There's just nothing, there's no structure. There's no, this doesn't feel like much of a payoff or a culmination of anything. It just feels like a reboot, but they didn't have enough pieces to really pull off a reboot, I guess. It kind of feels like they scorched the earth and they're like trying to rebuild it, and they haven't completely done that yet. It's just not good. You got the pre-show match, which is going to be a 4-way tag or a gauntlet or what the fuck ever, and the winner gets a tag title shot later in the main show. Again, no direction for the tag division. Storm and Gunner are the tag champions. I keep forgetting they're champions. They didn't build up a strong contender for them, so we're just going to make one the night of the show. Again, that's the epitome of lazy booking. Again, plan your shit out, for God's sake. You look at the Knockouts match. ODB's the champion, which, okay, fine. Mickey was leaving. They had to do that. And Gail Kim is in there, I guess, just because she's the top talent that they have, which, okay, fine. And then Brooke Tessmacher gets thrown in there for some reason, and it just feels random. Like, Tessmacher, she just gets randomly thrown in there just because. I can't think of a reason. And ODB is the champion out of necessity because their top girl was leaving, and then Gail is just the most talented girl they have left, so it's like, alright, well, we gotta put her in there. So, the Knockouts don't really have a whole lot going for them. I know they want to build up Lady Tapa as their big, like, awesome Kong replacement, their big monster, which isn't a bad idea. She looks really green, though. But she hasn't had an actual match yet, so we'll see. What else? God, there isn't much. I gotta say, there's just not much to this. Ultimate X match for the X Division title, which you want to talk about random. Okay, Chris Sabin's a heel now. Why? I don't know. He's doing the abusive boyfriend crap with Velvet Sky, and they've been a couple in real life for a long time, but on screen they've only been a couple for like 2 or 3 weeks. So it would be like if WWE right now, like, they announced that Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan were engaged, and then they turned right around and had Daniel Bryan act like an abusive dick to her. And it's like, dude, we don't even, like, the relationship just came out of nowhere. There's no context to this. It's just, you just made the couple and he's an abusive jerk for no reason. It would be like, Liz and Randy, their relationship being the way it was during the Mega Power split, really worked because you'd gone through all the peaks and valleys with them over a few years. So when Savage went all out and was just being a complete and utter asshole to her, that really felt like it meant something, and it was like legitimately hurtful to see him treating her so bad. Plus it added fuel to the fire for the Hogan Savage feud, so that was all great. And then it paid off even bigger down the road when they reunited at WrestleMania 7, but that's neither here nor there. Samoa Joe gets thrown into the Ultimate X match for no reason, because they've got no direction for him. And I just love that. He's like, oh, by the way, guys, I'm in this match, because I say so. It's like, can guys just come out and give themselves title shots now? I didn't know that was a thing. It's literally that easy to get a title shot in modern day wrestling. All you have to do is come out and ask for one. And why would Samoa Joe put himself in an Ultimate X match? He's a fat guy. He's a fat guy. Why would he even want to be in this match? He was in Ultimate X once. It didn't go very well from a kayfabe standpoint because he lost. And it didn't go well in a shoot standpoint because he went blind in the middle of the match and he just didn't do very well at it. So there's no reason for Joe to be in this. I mean, I give them credit. I guess they're trying to add some life to the X Division by putting Jeff Hardy and Austin Aries back in there, but I probably would have split this up and had, like, Aries face Sabin one-on-one and had, like, Manic go up against Hardy and Joe in a three-way or something. I don't know. And Manic's the champion. Again, I keep forgetting he's the champion because it feels like the focus is on Sabin and Aries and Hardy. Is like Manic is just kind of lost in the shuffle. Or, the former Suicide, TJ Perkins, which that's really weird to have a masked character that does interviews with no mask. That's kind of strange, but whatever. Then you got Magnus versus Sting, which is okay, I guess, if they want to make Magnus into a star. I don't know if Magnus has that main event potential. He has potential. I don't know if it's main event potential. He's got a look. He can talk. He's gotten a lot better in the rings. So, okay, they want to give a young guy a rub. He has to go over if that's what you're doing. But again, this feels like just random, thrown together. They did it because they didn't know what to do with Sting, and they want to use Magnus, but again, they didn't know what to do with him, so that's what they cooked up. Kurt Angle versus Bobby Roode in Kurt Angle's return match, so you know Angle's going to win. Again, they could have a really good match. I mean, I like Bobby Roode and Angle if he's in shape. They could have a really good match. I'm kind of expecting Roode just to get fed to him, because that seems to happen whenever there's a return match, like Undertaker and Kane at WrestleMania 20, where Undertaker came back and pretty much just ate Kane alive, and Triple H versus Booker T at that one SummerSlam. I think was it 06 or 07? It was 07. And Triple H pretty much just squashed him because it's like, oh, we want to make it feel good, so just have the good guy come back and win and whatever. And I'm kind of expecting that here with Angle and Roode, but whatever. We all know Angle's gonna win. It's funny, that was the main event 2 years ago. It's actually really funny if you think about it. The main event 2 years ago is being repeated on this card, and the main event from last year is being crammed into the Ultimate X match. So it's like it's kind of weird how that played out. But I'm sure they didn't design it that way. It just kind of, that's how the card randomly came together. And then you have AJ versus Bully for the title. AJ's most likely going to win, and that's the one match that felt like, okay, they probably planned that months ago. Maybe even a year ago when they did the whole bit where AJ was not allowed to go for the title for a year. But even then, they didn't do enough to really build it up all that well. Yes, AJ won the BFG series, but there were so many inconsistencies with his character, and the direction was really odd, and the Aces and Eights have really fallen apart as a heel faction to the point that they don't even seem to matter anymore. It feels like they're just kind of writing them off slowly and just, like, getting ready to kill it. So, okay, AJ's most likely going to win the title there. Other than that, I guess that's the card. I don't know. I'm not... Again, I said I was going to do a video talking about Hulk Hogan leaving TNA. I'm not convinced that he's gone. So until it's like 100% confirmed that Hogan's gone, I'm not going to do any big video talking about it. Because I'm almost certain he's actually going to pop up at this show. I don't think he's gone. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Bound for Glory. There's just nothing to look forward to here. It's just... Every Bound for Glory has had like a big match. Even like the weaker ones, like 2010. It had something big on it that was worth looking forward to for whatever reason. Even if the payoff wasn't that great, there was something to get excited about going into the show. This one just does, it has nothing. It's just kind of, TNA is just in a directionless mess right now. And one of my commenters said that lately I've been really harsh on TNA. It's like I'm rooting for them to fail. It's like, I'm not rooting for them to fail. They just suck. And if they suck, I'm going to say that they suck. It's just... That's how it works. If they're good, I'll say they're good. I think I've been pretty fair to both WWE and TNA as far as like, I'm not a brand loyalist. I'm a loyalist to whatever is good. When WWE sucks, I'll say they suck. Like I pretty much did in this video. I said Raw wasn't very good, even though Raw has been mostly really good since SummerSlam. I bashed Battleground because I thought that was a terrible show. And TNA, when they were good, last year they were good. Last year TNA, 2012 TNA was actually, it wasn't groundbreaking, but it was good. It was solid. Gave me stuff to enjoy and look forward to, but whatever. This show just feels like a big load of nothing, and that's the best way to describe it. It probably, won't turn out to be that bad of a show. Like the Ultimate X, they'll do something crazy. Maybe Angle and Rude will be a really good match. Maybe Magnus and Sting will be a good match. Maybe AJ and Bully will have a really great match together. But it's just going into it. There's just no hype. There's no energy. There's no reason to really care about this and why it's. Yeah, it's just TNA is just a bunch of nothing right now, and that's basically the best way to describe it. I don't think I'm going to watch Bound for Glory. I might. I don't know yet. It'll be a game day decision. But, yeah, if I do watch it, I'll give you my thoughts next week. But until then, see y'all later.